We're moving to Germany. What?
When?
Why?
Let's talk about it. Hallo, servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio, on and off since 2016. And
Hey guys, I'm Ben. Good to be back.
glad to have you back. Happy New Year, guys. So, as you know, I've been living here in the US for about 8 years now.
And I've been here my whole life.
But this fall, so probably around September of 2025, we will move to Germany. So for me, this means I'll move back home basically. And for Ben, this means that he'll move abroad for the very first time in his life. I've actually mentioned that we had these plans several times over the last few years, and I even mentioned it in my very last video about becoming an American citizen, but still a lot of you were very surprised when I posted about it on my Instagram story yesterday, and I asked if you guys have any questions for us about these news, and there were indeed a lot of questions, so let's get into it. Okay, so the number one question was, why? And some people also asked if this has anything to do with the political situation in the US and Trump coming back as president. But the answer to that is no. It has nothing to do with the political situation. We've had these plans for years at this point.
Yeah.
And we even mentioned this in a video back in 2022 where we
while
were
ago.
answering relationship questions.
Yeah.
We do have a plan of living in Germany at some point. I mean, we don't have a set plan yet, like we're gonna move to Germany next month or something like that, but we do wanna do it in the next few years.
So for us, it's really just personal reasons.
Yeah. I've always wanted to live in Europe.
Yeah, literally, like, when we first met, he said, one of the first, I think, second date or so, you were like, hey, so since you're from Germany, can we move to Europe at some point? And at that point, I was like, I mean, yeah, like, for now, I kind of want to stay in the US, but potentially.
Yeah, and especially now that I've been over there so many times, I've really started to familiarize myself with the place and the culture and the people, but I like it. That's the other bonus. If I went there and I didn't like it, I might have a little bit of pause now, but now that I've been there so many times and I like it,
Yeah.
I'm very cool with this.
Like, in a lot of cases, you say to me when we're over there, and I mean, you've been over there, what, like 8 times now? 9
I
times?
think
or
9
so?
times, yeah.
He says a lot of times that he feels like he fits in better with like the European mindset, style, food preferences even in some cases. Well, not in all cases, but in some cases. So like you really don't feel like an outcast over there. You feel like this is kind of a place where you fit in as well. And so for me, the whole reason why I want to move back now, even though when we first started dating, I was like, maybe not quite yet. Yeah. But I've now been in the US for 8 years. The first 2 years were kind of off and on, like half a year in the US, half a year in Germany. But the last 6 years, I've been here permanently, and I've only ever been in Germany to visit. And I'm close with my family. It's not like I came to the US to like get away from my family or I have no connections to Germany anymore. I very much do. I am very close with my parents, my brother, my extended family, a lot of my friends still, because a lot of German friendships tend to be kind of like lifelong friendships. And I've just missed out on so much life. I've missed out on so many just birthday dinners, little events that, you know, it's not like a wedding where it's maybe worth to travel over there, but all the little events that are not worth getting on a transatlantic flight for, I haven't been there for them in the last 8 years. My parents are getting older, like I just want to be there again.
And in that same vein, she's experienced all that stuff with my family here. So in a certain way, I want to experience that for myself with her family. Yeah. Like the same way that you've experienced that with my family, I don't want to do it just for you. I want to experience that for me as well, because I feel like I'm part of the family now at this point, sort of.
Plus, for like our future planning, we've always talked about living in both countries, whether that's going to be like living in one country for the most part and then living in the other country only for a little bit, or literally moving back and forth. We'll see, but so far we've never lived in Germany together. He's never lived in Germany at all. So this is just also going to be for us to try it out. I don't even know if I'm still going to like it. I might even like hate it. I don't know if Ben will actually like it.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. You won't know it until you try it.
Yeah.
So
that's what we're gonna do. Just see how we feel.
Yeah. I'm very much a wing it type person.
Same.
And this isn't something that you can necessarily wing, because you got to go through the whole process and visas, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But it's my first time moving out of the country.
Yeah. And like you liking it when you visit doesn't necessarily mean that you'll also like it the same way when you live there. So we're gonna have to try that out before we like have a whole family with kids and then we move over there and then you find out, oh, oopsie, I actually don't like it here that much.
But I mean, I have faith in it, and I hope Germany will give me a fair shake, and I'll give Germany a fair shake, so we'll see.
Also, another thing is traveling. I've seen a lot of countries growing up because Germans just tend to travel a lot. I was always very privileged that my family traveled a lot, and he never left the country until he met me. Never left the US is what I mean by that. And ever since then, we've like visited a few countries together now, but from the US, it's just really hard, especially seeing Europe. So living in Germany also will make that a little bit easier to just kind of see all the countries and the places that you've always wanted to see.
Yeah, as a photographer in Central Europe, especially Munich, because it's very Central Europe, you can it's a good landing spot for you to get around and see places. Yeah. And as an architecture photographer, I'm gonna be in hog heaven. You know, I gotta work and do all those things, but I think that will be my play.
So long story short, we've been wanting to do this for a while, but we don't really have like a reason, like there's no specific deadline or occasion. So the reason why we're doing it now is just that last year at some point I was like, well, we're not getting younger and we do want a family at some point, and we would ideally want to move over there before we have a family so we can do all the travels and figure out where we want to be for now. And so we just decided at some point, okay, let's just set that date, because otherwise we're never going to do it, because it is a lot of work and planning to like make this happen, to move abroad. Especially now that we have like this whole house full of stuff, like it's a lot of logistics. Yeah. But so we were just like, okay, let's just say we're gonna do it in 2025. We're gonna start telling people, and then we're actually gonna have to do it. And so that's what's happening now. And September is kind of what we're thinking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the flaky American that she always talks about in videos.
I mean, that would suck. If literally like we got everything packed up and you'd be like, never mind.
I can't go. I can't do it.
A lot of people were also really confused about my American citizenship. Why would you get US citizenship and then move to Germany? Well, I can tell that those of you who asked about that didn't watch my latest YouTube video about the citizenship process, because I did explain that there. But long story short, I got the citizenship now so that I can move to Germany without losing my status here in the US. Because as a green card holder, aka permanent resident, which is what I was, you technically can't live outside of the US for more than 6 months. Otherwise, you'll lose your green card. And I could have probably gotten a new green card in the future through marriage, but that whole process is a lot more complicated than the process of becoming a citizen. And since I was eligible to apply for citizenship last year, and the German government had just passed the new law that allowed for dual citizenship, this was the best way for me to make sure that I can come back to the US in the future. Plus, I have real estate in this country, a business, a bank account, etc. So it would have made things very complicated if I had just lost my whole right to live and work in this country, and every time we came back to the US, I would just be here as a tourist. So for me, that was just the best possible option. Okay, the next question, where are we gonna move in Germany?
Munich. The Munich area, city, metro area. I'm really happy she's from Munich, and just Bavaria in general. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Well, he went to Berlin for the first time last July, and you kind of said, because Berlin is kind of like New York City. You're either a Berlin person.
You're gonna make people from Berlin hate me.
No, you're either a Berlin person or you're not a Berlin person. Like, it's either your vibe or it's not. And when you went to Berlin, I kind of thought you would really like it, but you were like, I'm kind of glad you're from Munich.
On the drive in, literally, not even at our hotel yet, I look at her, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy you're from Munich.
Yeah, Berlin is definitely not the most beautiful city, but again, it's also like, it just has a certain vibe to it. I'm also not a New York City person, for example. So yeah, we're gonna move to the Munich area again, which is where I'm from. I know that a lot of people were also like, oh, I hope you're gonna like move somewhere else in Germany, see some other parts of Germany. But the whole point is so that I can, you know, be closer to my friends and family. And it would be kind of weird if we moved to the north of Germany and then we're 8 hours away from my family again. So the whole point is to just kind of be closer. Okay, the second most asked question after why was for moving to Germany permanently. I think we kind of already answered that a little bit, but no.
No, just a year.
Not for now. So for now, we're planning this to be like a 1-year experience. Yeah. Part of the reason is that we don't know yet if we're gonna love it, or, you know, if I'm gonna like it, if he's gonna like it, maybe only one of us is gonna like it. We're gonna basically just move there, make it 1 year, like the timeline 1 year, so that in case we don't like it, we know, you know, it's only gonna be so and so much longer, and then we can come back here. But also, I feel like that is a really good way to move abroad. That's how I came to the US, and I don't know if I would have ever moved here if it had been permanent.
Yeah.
I have been here permanently for the last like 6 years, but I never planned on it to be permanent. And I think that's why I did it, because I came here for a 5-month student exchange semester.
Yeah.
Then I went back to Germany. Then I came here for 6 months. Then I went back to Germany. Then I came here for a full academic year. Then I went back to Germany. Then I came here back on my green card. And like, I always knew though that I could come back home to Germany. I never like had that moment where I sold all my things and told everyone in Germany that I'm never coming back. I mean, I did give up my apartment in Germany, but I still have my parents' place that I can always go to. But I never had that moment, and I don't know if I would have even taken this step if I had to do that. That's such a drastic step, and I feel like it puts a lot of pressure on a person. So we're gonna plan for a year, and then if we love it after a year, we can always extend it, and we can always change our plans. But if we want to go back to the US then we have that option, and we already planned for it.
Yeah, I think all the trips that we've taken for me has been getting my toes wet, and then this year will be like the shallow end, and then later on, if we decide to dive into the deep end, it'll be the permanent move and all that. But I always make the joke with her that we're going to get over to Germany and she's going to be like, I'm so Americanized that I cannot live in Germany anymore.
Possible.
And she's going to be like, take me back to middle America. And I'm going to be like, no, I want to stay. I want to stay.
Yeah, and then obviously we're going to have to find a compromise together somehow.
Yeah,
but I don't think I'm going to like hate it, but it's definitely possible that I'm going to be reminded of some of the things that, you know, I appreciate more about the US.
Yeah, I have a feeling that if like you want to come back and I don't want to come back, all you'll have to do is dangle like a McDonald's breakfast in front of my face and I'll just follow you all the way back to the US.
And that actually brings me to a question that we have for you guys. I know the chances are probably very slim, but hey, you never know unless you try. If any of you currently live in the Munich area and would be interested in living in the Cincinnati area for a year and you'd like to swap houses, let us know either in the comments, or you can also email me at felifromgermany@gmail.com. Or if any of you are just interested in maybe renting out our house for a year and live in the Cincinnati area. So no, we're not selling the house. A lot of people ask, are you gonna sell it? Are you gonna rent it out? We're keeping it, we're trying to rent it out, or vice versa. If you have a place in the Munich area and already know that you're gonna need tenants starting in the fall and you would like to take us as your tenants, then definitely also reach out. My email address is right here. Maybe just put it in the subject line, like Munich rental or something like that. Ideally, we'd like to rent a house, like a townhouse or a duplex. I know that that's, to Munich people, this sounds like, oh my God, are you crazy? Are you guys crazy rich? The thing is, we both work from home. We have 2 cats that are very spoiled, running up and down the stairs all day long. And I just don't think we can really downsize that much at this point. We've been living in a house, just the 2 of us plus the 2 cats, for over 3 years now. And of course, that would also mean that if we do end up getting some type of house, that would probably maybe be somewhere on the edge of the city or even in a suburb. That's perfectly fine with us too. But I mean, we're also definitely considering just getting a bigger apartment. I think we'd need at least like 4 rooms, 1 living room, and then 3 bedrooms, so that we each could have an office and I could have like a recording space.
And how spoiled are these cats?
I know.
Golly.
I know. And that's actually something that a lot of people asked about too. Are the cats coming? Will you bring all your furniture? Are you gonna bring all your stuff? How are you gonna ship it all over? What are you gonna bring, etc.? There were a lot of questions about that. So first of all, yes, the cats will come with us. Izzy and Ern. Some people also asked about the exact process of moving your pets. We haven't done it yet, so we can let you know once we've done it. I know several people who've done it between the US and Germany, and I know that the cat will most likely be in the plane cabin with us, which that will be interesting. But if you're interested in the whole process, like, let us know in the comments below, and we can definitely document it on the channel as we go, as we figure these things out, and also just show you once we've done it.
As for furniture, no. We'd like to actually keep what we have, like a good amount of the stuff that we have in the house, so rent it out with furnished.
Depending on who we find as a tenant, that would be ideal.
Yeah, and what we can't take, storage, but like some of the stuff, like my photography equipment, I'll take with me. It's not furniture, but
but no, furniture itself, like couches, beds, that's not coming. That's all staying here. We're gonna either get a furnished place in Munich or get new furniture over there. In terms of like what exactly we're gonna bring in terms of like clothes and equipment and all of that, and how we're gonna bring it over, that we're not sure yet. We're still at the very beginning of this, guys. Like, I know a lot of people will say, oh, this is 9 months away, you already need everything figured out, but that's not how I work, and that's not how Ben works either.
Definitely not.
So we're gonna figure that out as we go. Maybe we'll just go with suitcases. or maybe we'll ship some boxes over, maybe we'll ship a container. I don't know. I feel like when I came here for my first exchange semester, I came with 2 suitcases for 5 months, and that was totally fine. Now, of course, we're like at a later stage in our lives and we have more things and we will definitely need more things and some work equipment too. But I could definitely see us, you know, donating and just getting like doing like a big spring cleaning where we get rid of everything that we don't need anyway. And then just really try to only bring the essentials.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Garage sale.
Okay, then let's talk about jobs. Did you both find a job there? What does Ben do for a living, and can he continue it in Germany, or is he getting a new job?
I'm gonna try to continue doing it in Germany. I'm a photographer. I do mostly real estate, and like interior design and property development. So if you guys know any real estate agents, interior designers, property developers in Germany that is looking for someone, media, video, I can maybe help y'all out.
I should say you're self-employed.
Yeah, I am self-employed.
I think that's the main thing. No, you're not employed somewhere here, and you don't necessarily need to find a job, like an employed job over there. And we don't have any jobs over there right now.
No, but with that said, I am giving up my clientele here in the U.S. to make this move, so I am going to try to rebuild that. I do have a degree in broadcast journalism, so I could go work at a publication freelance, which that is something I'm interested in doing. It would just be a matter of language barrier and learning the language. And I know there's American publications and whatnot, but it's just something I'm gonna have to research and look into a little bit more whenever I'm there. And at the end of the day, I always can work with Feli, so.
Yeah. So that was another question, what's gonna happen with my channel? And also, of course, the question was, did you both find jobs there? So as for me, my job is this and has been my job for the last 5 years full time. And I have a business here, an LLC with different people also on my payroll. So yes, my channel will continue when we move. The content might change a little bit. I mean, I can probably show you a little bit more what the whole move is gonna be like. We can have Ben on the channel more if you're interested in that and see how he is reacting to moving abroad and the whole culture shocks and everything. And yeah, maybe I can just show you a little bit of Germany itself and our travels that we're going to be doing. I also actually have a lot of other business ideas that I've been playing around with for the last couple of years, and who knows, maybe some of those will come true too. Stay tuned. But yeah, for now, I think neither of us are looking for specific job offers to be employed somewhere.
Yeah.
And that brings us to all the questions that I got about Ben's immigration status, what visa is he gonna be on, and also how is it possible for US citizens in general to move to Germany. So there are actually a lot of different visa types you can apply for as an American, and it's definitely a lot easier for an American to move to Germany than it is for a German or another foreigner to move to the US. The easiest is always if you already have a job offer from a German employer, and of course it always depends on your industry, but generally speaking, there are a lot of jobs for English-speaking people in Germany where it's not necessary for you to be fluent in German. There's some pretty good resources that show you all the English-speaking job offerings available in Germany. I'll put some links in the video description for you guys. Also, to get a better overview for all the different visa categories in Germany, you can check out makeitingermany.com. And I saw that for international skilled workers from India specifically, they're hosting a webinar on January 22nd. So if you're watching from India and you're interested in moving to Germany, definitely check that out. For Ben specifically, as I said, we're still at the very beginning of the process, so we're not quite sure yet which route we'll end up going, but he could either apply for what's called a freelancer visa as a photographer or even as a journalist, a regular work visa if he decided to just be employed somewhere, or we could also get married and get a family reunion visa. Which of those we'll end up doing, we'll keep you posted.
Next question, how grueling is the paperwork, and is there any surprise paperwork? My mom said the paperwork was the hardest part of the process. Was this true for you two?
Well, I am assuming that I will probably end up doing most of the paperwork because it's mostly in German, but so far we haven't done any paperwork yet, so we can't really tell you yet, but it's probably not gonna be fun. You're gonna hear about it in future videos. Okay, this is a question for you. Is dual citizenship something that Ben could imagine for himself in the future?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I would like to. I mean, I just have to get a little bit better with the German language to fully get that for myself, but I think it's definitely something I'd like to do. I'm never going to give up my American citizenship, but...
Same as me. Like, I would never give up my German, but you're definitely open to the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of you also asked, is it even possible for Americans to get German citizenship, or what are the requirements to get it? So unless you have, like, German citizenship through ancestry or anything like that, which is a whole different topic, and I will have a video about that soon. Let's just say you're regular American, like Ben. He doesn't have, like, a German mom or German grandparents or anything like that. Then you will have to live in Germany first to get citizenship. And then after you've lived there for 5 years, or if you're very well integrated, then they reduce the time to 3 years. Then you can apply for citizenship if you meet certain requirements. Like you have to have a permanent residence title, you have to speak German at least at a B1 level. So the language requirement is a little higher than it is here in the US. I mean, you actually have to take like a test and get a language certificate. And then you also have to pass the citizenship test, which I've heard is also harder than the one in the US. But then yes, it is possible for Americans to obtain German citizenship. And of course, there were also questions about Ben's German. I think some people asked, how far along is your German?
Yeah, I kind of dropped the ball this last year. Yeah. Not gonna lie, it was my own doing. With work and the company and everything, I kind of took 2 steps back. So I would be at a German teaching school about 3 hours ago if it wasn't for a snow day, but here we are. So I think for me, in person will help me a lot. And I think also moving there will also kind of force me to do it. So
how far along? He didn't really answer the question. How far along is it? It's kind of still at the same level it's been for the last 2 years. He understands a whole lot. His pronunciation is really good, but he never really got all the grammar rules down because he never really finish like a full course or like a full like app or anything like that. So that's definitely something he's going to prioritize because I know you're like stressing a little bit about moving there and not, you don't really speak it is the thing. You can understand a lot, but you don't really speak it yet.
Yeah, but it's my own doing.
Yeah.
I wear that hat. I'll take it. Don't be too rough on me. I'll get it.
No, you'll get there for sure. You're actually very talented.
I am going to. So.
You're actually very talented in regards to German and probably languages in general. But I think the part about it is like one part is talent and then the other part is just hard work. It's just you have to sit down, learn your vocab, learn your grammar rules, and that's just something that you're just going to have to do this year.
Yeah. Okay, next up, double taxation. Won't you have to pay tax twice? U.S. is one of the few countries with a nationality tax.
That is true. So theoretically, yes, because living in Germany will owe taxes to Germany, but the US also taxes their citizens no matter where they live, and we're both citizens now.
Yeah, woohoo.
In reality, however, the US and Germany have certain tax agreements in place, which means that most people don't actually end up having to pay double taxes because there's this thing called foreign income exclusion, meaning that US citizens don't have to pay US taxes for up to about $130,000 per year of foreign earned income, so income that they didn't earn in the US. Or if you make more than that, there's also the foreign tax credit, meaning that the taxes you've already paid abroad, in our case to Germany, will be used as a tax credit on what you owe in the US. And since taxes in Germany are generally higher than in the US, you don't end up owing any taxes in the US. I also got some comments saying that it was dumb of me to get US citizenship now, because now I'll have to deal with this whole double taxation thing when I live in Germany. First of all, I obviously knew that beforehand, and this was a consciously made decision on my end. But what many people don't realize is that this whole double taxation thing also applies to permanent residents too, which is what I was. Permanent residents are people who have a green card. So I would have had to deal with that either way until, of course, then I would have lost my green card if I had been abroad for longer than 6 months. Then I wouldn't have to deal with the double taxation anymore. But then again, I wouldn't be able to live in the US anymore, or I would have to go through the whole immigration process all over again. So to me, the whole tax situation is absolutely worth not having to deal with all of the immigration stuff ever again. Okay, let's do a few more personal questions towards the end. To Ben, what are you looking forward to the most apart from Wiener Schnitzel? And then someone also asked, what am I looking forward to the most?
Oh, well, you took my number one already.
What?
I'm just kidding. The Wiener Schnitzel is not my number one. I'm very excited for it, but number one, probably just hanging out with your family, and, like spending time and, you know, being thrust into like family traditions. Also experiencing your home more than I already have, like actually like get the pace of the city and like learn the German lifestyle, and travel. I'm very excited to just travel and just see things that I've wanted to see my whole life. I've always been infatuated with European culture and just the age of it. and I'll be like a little kid. I would just pure wonder. So I'm very excited for that.
That was a very beautiful answer.
Yeah.
But now let's give us the more like materialistic answers. I know, okay, Fanta, obviously, German Fanta.
Yeah.
You're excited for. I know you're kind of excited for a lot of the foods aside from schnitzel.
Yeah.
Like we talked about it the other day. Ben likes to eat frozen dinners every now and then, you know. Nothing wrong there.
I don't eat the best. I'll say it.
And we were at the store the other day buying some, and you literally said, I'm so excited for the quality of the frozen meals in Germany because they're just so much better than in the US. And like frozen pizza alone, 10 times better than frozen pizza in the US.
This will be a quick little side
and
note.
so much cheaper.
I just feel like all the microwave dinners or like frozen dinners here in the US, they kind of have this like plasticky taste to it. In Germany, they don't have that. It's like you just put it in the thing, you cook it, and it's like it was just frozen from someone a couple nights ago. It's like leftovers.
Okay, it's still not healthy. Like, we know that. But just like the selection, the flavor, and the pricing is all just so much better. I think food in general is something that, like, the quality of food, even at restaurants and grocery stores, is something we're both excited for. Yeah. Obviously, we also got the question, of course, what are you going to miss the most? Food is also something that you're gonna miss.
Yeah, I already mentioned McDonald's breakfast.
McDonald's breakfast.
I love biscuits, Southern style biscuits. Like that is the one thing is like a Kentucky, and I cannot get rid of that and sweet tea.
And gravy. It's biscuits and gravy.
Sawmill gravy, not like that brown nonsense. Like actual white sawmill gravy.
And that's something that I think is gonna be really hard to find, but
I'll just have to make it. I still haven't found a good sawmill gravy recipe yet, so if anybody has one, let me know, please. And I mean, of course, my family and my friends, I mean, that will go without saying. That's something that I'm gonna have to get used to. The furthest I've ever lived away is Florida, so.
And that was only like, what, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be longer, but.
But I always had the thought in my head, if something goes wrong, I can just get in my car and drive 16 hours home.
Plus you're in the same time zone.
Yeah. In Germany, I'll just have the time difference, and if I wanna see my family, they'll either have to come to me on a plane or I'll have to get on a plane.
Yeah, it's expensive too, of course.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to what am I looking forward to the most and what am I gonna miss the most about the US, I think I'm also looking forward to a lot of the food, definitely all my dairy products, my cheeses, my bread, all the stuff that I don't like so much here in the US, or at least in the Midwest, how easy it's gonna be to be vegetarian, because I literally never struggled with being vegetarian until I moved here. I'm excited for all the outdoor activities, just like all the lakes and just people walking. The other day I walked to the mailbox after it snowed, and one of the cars that went by slowed down and asked me if I needed a ride, because apparently I looked like I was such a sad person that was like walking somewhere. In my mind, I was like, oh nice, I'm gonna get some steps in and I'm going to the mailbox because I have to mail out a few letters. So I'm excited for, just like biking. Oh, biking. Yeah. I'm so excited to ride my bike. And you also have a bike in Munich.
Do.
My parents got him one for Christmas last year, so we can do all of our bike tours, traveling, all of that. And then obviously the main reason, like being close to friends and family, being there for the little things. I'm very excited to not only see my friends like once or twice a year and then try to catch up on everything that happened in the last few years. I'm excited to just talk about trivial things every now and then. What am I gonna miss the most about the US? Definitely Mexican food. A lot of the convenience. And definitely also certain products, that I just use on a day-to-day basis, like Boom Chicka popcorn, for example.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
I'm going to miss Sundays here.
Oh, like, football Sundays?
Football Sundays, and also stores just being open.
Right. Well, you're going to get used to it. German Sundays are very nice, too, because you're forced to kind of calm down.
It's a different mood, yeah.
Oh, what I am excited for in Germany, too, is DM products, because I usually just import them to the US. No, I don't have to do that anymore. Just a lot about the American lifestyle I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss just random conversations with strangers at the supermarket, at a bar, meeting new friends, like friends of friends or something, and immediately just connecting with them. Yeah. I think a lot about the German mentality I'm not gonna be super excited about. But
I am kind of curious to see living there a longer period of time if it's really that different for Americans compared to Germans.
Like the culture shock?
Yeah, the cultural
differences?
Shock, yeah. Like if I want to call someone up and be like, hey, what are you doing this Saturday? Like, let's go do something. And then they're
it depends on who your friends will be. If you maybe have more American or international friends there, then maybe you won't experience that really.
Yeah, but I don't want to be the American that moves to Germany only to hang out with Americans. Right. Like, come on.
Okay, last but not least, can I fit in your luggage? You can certainly try. I highly doubt it because it will be packed. It will be probably really hard to pack for this move.
We do have a pretty big suitcase.
We do.
A really big
But we're
one.
gonna need several for sure. Anyways, that was the last question that I picked out. There were a lot of other questions, but again, if you're interested in us documenting this whole process, I saw someone saying, we've seen your immigration process, would be interesting to now see Ben's immigration process. If you're interested in that, let us know in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up to kind of show that this type of video is something that you would like to see, and then we can certainly try to do that, keep you updated. But for now, thank you guys so much for submitting all of the questions. Thank you so much for all of the positive feedback that I've already gotten in my Instagram DMs. People said that congratulations for moving to Germany. We're so excited you're moving to Germany. And thank you guys so much for watching.
And if you're an American that's made this move before, especially not really speaking German fluently, if you have any advice for me, I am all ears. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, help us out in the comments. And of course, quick reminder, if you want a house swap for a year starting in September of 2025, email me at felifromgermany@gmail.com. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Cheers!
See ya.